The Chris Johnson, man, the Chris Johnson news, former NFL player. He was diagnosed. I don't know when he was diagnosed, but I'm about to read the TMZ article, and I'm going to play the news clip that a former NFL player, Michael Strahan, man, he interviewed Chris S. So it says, ex-NFL star Chris Johnson, man, diagnosed with ALS. It's crazy and sad, man. So it says, former NFL superstar Chris Johnson just revealed that he was diagnosed with ALS last year, and the disease has progressed so quickly. He now uses a speech-generating device to communicate. Wow. For the old Tennessee Titans great and his wife Brittany sat down with Michael Strahan on a Good Morning America Monday, where the All-Pro running back stated he first noticed symptoms with weakness in his right hand. So this is Chris Johnson right here, man, former NFL player, very very good fucking NFL running back. After meeting with medical professionals undergoing thorough testing, Johnson received the news at 39 years old he had Lou Gehrig's disease, and a doctor recommended medication that might extend his life by a few months while also suggesting he get his affairs in order. CJ2K then watched actor Eric Dane and ALS expert Dr. Merrick Winsky, I don't know, that's her damn name, interview on GMM morning and decided to make a call. He said working with her has provided a new approach fighting the disease. Okay, so I remember this guy right here. He was on this TV show that I just finished watching a few months ago. He's a good actor. He died because he had ALS as well. So Johnson is now taking 3 medications that help slow down the illness and participates in therapy that decrease inflammation, but noted he can no longer hold a cup or lift his daughter. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy and sad, chat. Shortly after he was diagnosed, he had his voice recorded so he can hold conversations with technology that tracks his eyes. Johnson praised his wife for taking care of him, and he's dedicated to fighting the disease while also raising awareness for ALS and research. Johnson was the 24th pick in the 2008 NFL Draft out of East Carolina and spent the majority of his career with the Titans. He broke an NFL record with 2,509 yards from scrimmage in the 2009 season. Johnson made 3 Pro Bowl appearances and was named Offensive Player of the Year as well. Despite the health battle, Johnson made it clear the disease has changed what his body can do, but not who he is inside. One thing that always pointed out besides his dreads, and he was a hell of a quarterback, he had gold teeth in his mouth. And really watching the NFL, I never really seen guys with gold teeth in their mouth before, kind of growing up or whatever. People sometimes look at their physical disability and assume you're not still the same person inside, Johnson said. I still think the same. I still dream. I still love my family. My body just doesn't cooperate. Wow. So like I say, chat, this guy was a hell of a running back. You know what I mean? So seeing this right here, is very sad. It is very sad. And a lot of people thought it was because of the NFL that, because we already know CTE comes from the NFL, playing NFL as well, from a lot of head injuries, you know what I'm saying? Concussions and stuff like that. But so let's look at the news clip, man, that came out today that kind of broke the news that he got ALS. So former NFL player, running back Chris Johnson reveals ALS diagnosis at 39.
Chris Johnson, one of the fastest running backs in NFL history, shattered records throughout his career. 80-yard run. So fast, he earned the nickname CJ2K.
Chris Johnson is going to have a Titans touchdown.
He retired in 2017 and has been out of the spotlight. But today, he is sharing something deeply personal.
You've chosen to share some personal news today, and it takes a tremendous amount of courage to share it. What would you like for people to know?
First, I want people to know that I'm still me. ALS has changed what my body can do, but it hasn't changed who I am.
In 2025, at the age of 39, Johnson was diagnosed with ALS. The disease progressing so rapidly that he now uses his eyes to trigger a speech-generating device to speak.
Why do you want to share this now?
Because if sharing my story helps even one person get diagnosed sooner, inspires more research, or gives another family hope, then it's worth it.
Johnson says he was in the prime of his life, working out daily and running errands with his 4 children until ALS changed everything.
Let's go back to last year. When did you notice that something was off?
I first noticed weakness in my right hand. At first, it was little things like my grip didn't feel right, and I wasn't as strong as I've always been.
His wife, Brittany, thought it was something much simpler.
Brittany, what did you think it was at the time?
I thought because of football and, his career that it had to be something with that, maybe a pinched nerve or something along those lines, but never ALS.
And what did doctors tell you initially about your condition?
We hoped it was something else, but after thorough testing, they finally.
All right, Chad, I'm a player, man, but this scene is right here. Is very it's very sad. God got. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna finish playing it. I'm gonna get my conclusion at the end.
Came down with a diagnosis of ALS. They told us about a medication that might extend life by a few months. Then they told us to get our affairs in order. It was hard hearing that, but after watching Good Morning America and seeing Dr. Merritt with Eric Dane, we reached out to her. She was willing to think more creatively, offering experimental treatments that might help and advance research.
Dr. Merritt Sikovich is a neurologist and leading ALS researcher at Mass General Brigham Neuroscience Institute.
Chris has been on standard of care, which is about 3 different medications that slow down the illness, but he was also part of a clinical trial, a therapy that decreases inflammation, and I think that helped him a lot.
With no family history of ALS, doctors believe his is a case of sporadic ALS, the most common form of the disease, affecting about 90% of patients, occurring randomly in people with no known family history of ALS.
That's one of the reasons this disease can be so shocking. It can happen to someone who never expected it.
And for me, it's shocking. It's hard to process it for me because I know you, Chris, from just the incredible athlete that you are. How do you process it?
Honestly, I don't know if you ever fully process it. At first, you're in shock. Then you realize you have 2 choices. You can give up or you can fight. I chose to fight.
And Brittany, what was it like for you when you found out that Chris had ALS?
All I could think about was our kids and how young they are. Just, you're in denial. You want it to be anything else. You want the doctors to be wrong. The life that we previously had is like now a thing of the past. But we're still hopeful. We're hopeful, that a breakthrough will happen and that, or, God, a miracle will happen,
And what kind of support has helped you the most through this?
Without a doubt, my wife, Brittany, she hasn't left my side through any of this. My kids are also a huge part of why I keep going. Every day I wake up wanting more time with them to make more memories and just be their dad. They give me a reason to keep fighting.
Love it.
I know, Brittany, the unsung heroes are the caregivers. So what has this been like for you?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. Like, we have good days, we have bad days, Our life has shifted so much and it's a heavy workload, but I have no doubt that this is what, I was called to do.
So how has it progressed since you've been diagnosed?
It's continued to progress much faster than I ever imagined. I want people to understand just how quickly ALS can attack your body. Just over a year ago, I was picking up my 7-year-old daughter so she make a wish with her birthday cake. Today, I couldn't do that.
And what do you hope people, or you wish people understood about living with ALS?
That your mind stays sharp. People sometimes look at the physical disability and assume you're not still the same person inside. I still think the same, I still dream, I still love my family. My body just doesn't cooperate.
What are the doctors telling you about the treatment and the progression?
Having doctors who are willing to collaborate and explore every reasonable option has meant a lot to my family and me. Right now there isn't a cure, but we're seeing more research, more clinical trials, and more promising ideas than ever before. Seeing how hard these doctors and researchers are working gives me hope. As long as they're fighting for people with ALS, I'm going to keep fighting too.
Chad, Seeing something like that right there, a guy who was a hell of a running back in the NFL, multi-millionaire, take care of his kids and family, friends, or whatever. I mean, you in a place where most people dreamed of being in the NFL and making millions of dollars. And this guy, and he did it well. You know what I mean? And to see this right here a few years later, that now it's like you might don't have that much time to live. And his wife said something that was very emotional right there. What she said that was he was called that was she was called to do, to take care of him. Seeing that right there makes you think like, damn, his family history never had no ALS. You know what I'm saying? So it just out the blue that something like that can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? It really makes you think and really precious your time on this earth. I'm not really trying to get sentimental, but I'm just saying that this guy had everything. You know what I mean? NFL, money, the wife, the kids, the fame. You know what I'm saying? He had everything. And this was the video right here that this was him. They said last year Chris Johnson was at the Senior Bowl, scouting and mentoring the next generation of NFL running backs. So the Senior Bowl is college players who might be going to the NFL with them, but it's just a Senior Bowl. You know what I mean? Of the seniors, their last game of the year or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is him right here talking. Let me see.
Pad level low. But they gonna try to take them shots. You know what I'm saying? Get that pad level low. Just being around these guys all week, around the hotels and taking them from different spots and just them soaking up the knowledge. All the questions they have, I'm there for them. They all got my number. Anything they need from me, they contact me and all those type of things. So it's not just scouting. It's mentoring these kids and showing them what the right thing to do and letting them know like this game can actually help you out. So go out here and compete. Being around these guys before they even get to the field, the knowledge that they want to know, they want to soak up everything. Like they want to hear about this, hear this story, hear all these different type of things. And then when you get on the field, the questions that they have and the way that they want to compete. It's a drill because if they coming through the line, they ain't gonna be able to do all that. You got a line right here, a line right there. No.
So as you can see right there, chat, that he was, I don't know, his speech right there kind of can tell that something was going on right there. You kind of can tell how he talked right there. But that was just last year, man, that he seemed healthy, and now to see that right there is a wild situation.